Hello and welcome back to the Simply Greg Show. Thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in with us today. As you already know, the Simply Greg Show is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting hidden gems in the community. And that's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So today we've got Gyles Buckle, owner of Brussels Lake Paragon, and so he's an entrepreneur and web developer and app developer as well. And today he's basically talking to us about how to build your own affordable app. So on the first half, if you haven't watched that, you can always go back or listen to that as well. He was talking to us about things to kind of look out for and be aware of, when and the mindset that you should have when you're approaching obviously building your own app. As you know, nowadays obviously we're becoming more technical, more digitalized in everything. Everyone's going through the digital transformation, every business, so it's one that we thought will be useful for you to take some tips from him to be able to understand how to best go about the process of building your own app for yourself. So Gyles, thanks once again for giving us a few insights and things to kind of take on board. Before the break, you was talking to us about some of the kind of clients that you've had, whether it be in health and beauty or in various different kind of industries as well. What are some of the trends that you're also seeing at the present moment?
The trends I'm seeing, if there's no problem, there's no business. That's like main trend.
Yeah.
And if you can find a smart solution for a problem, you can monetize it. A lot of people are on their smartphones right now. So what I'm finding is I guess a renewed sense of confidence and people getting very innovative during the lockdown, kind of, I guess, brings out the survival skills in people.
It's true.
So it's like if they can build up the confidence to give their ideas a go, I'm finding a lot of resilience in that. People are saying, I really wanted to do this thing. Lockdown really made me think about what I was going to do next. So I'm just finding kind of a renewed sense of confidence. Obviously, it doesn't directly have anything to do with what I'm doing, but what I observe in some of our clients is that, wow, like this person's been sitting on this idea for a while, and they're giving it a go now. So it's like the lockdown pushed some people to kind of really bring their ideas to life, which is.
And what about the market trends in terms of the kind of industries that seem to be working well for apps, or that. The direction of that. What you seen, or what can you identify?
Well, there's a few evergreen industries that will never, never fade away. People will always need to eat.
People always need to eat.
Yeah.
Like, it's true.
They always need to eat. They'll always need a place to lay their head.
Yeah.
People will always want to be in some type of relationship, and people.
So he just talked about accommodation. He's talked about dating, and he's also talked about their what was the other one? Eating. Yeah. Takeaways.
And so it's just if it's something that will improve their physical appearance, improve their financial standing in life, improve the place where they're able to lay their heads, there's a market for it. So improve their financial standing. So obviously finance related apps, so like Forex and stocks and trading. Some of those products are quite exciting right now that we're working on. Health, so fitness and nutrition, look good. When you go out, no one wants to look worse than they already look. So these things are quite popular right now. I'd even throw like beauty treatments and salons and booking services in that category as well, because you've got a few apps there that are doing very well. And
that's a day-to-day kind of thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So to be honest, obviously in I guess further down the line, we're building needs for clients. Yeah, but these are evergreen markets. Yeah, so like it would be even good for us to have our own products in that industry as well. And then obviously dating. We all have that human need and connection to feel connected to someone. So,
which is funny because you first started your whole business through.
Don't expose me. Don't expose me.
I wanted to bring.
Don't expose me.
This guy, we have to let them know how you started your empire.
Yeah, that was great. I was sitting in my room in 2012 and I had a website, the First Seduction.com.
Yeah.
Domain's long gone now.
Yeah.
And I was putting like dating tips on there.
Yeah.
I was taking a course and it was like, write about something you know. I was like, yeah, well, every guy wants a good, like, nice girl.
Yeah.
So like, I was an affiliate of several like dating advice programs.
Yeah.
I was, promoting that website. I remember when I got my first sale, it was like for $90.
Yeah.
It was like still good. It's like £86, but I didn't know who bought it. It was someone in Australia. So I was like, oh my God, like this internet thing works.
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is. They just came through some online marketing channel and I was doing that search engine optimization.
Do you see how that built up your confidence though?
Definitely.
Like I was mentioning on the first half, it's like you do one small thing and you're like, I can actually make money online.
Yeah.
And then you built it from there into going to Brussels Lake Paragon now.
Yeah.
You try keeping it away from them.
Yeah, nah, it's cool, man. It's even it's a good one because I really wish I didn't close that website.
Yeah, because they will be raking it right now.
Yeah, like that was a mistake, man.
Because when he told me about that, I was like, bro, that's the first time I've seen like a brother pick up and do something to do with dating. Like I did just that. Imagine all the man them there that got bars when they're moving up girl.
Yeah,
like they could have sold that.
They could have, because no one. I feel like people want to make it look like it's organic. No one wants to be like, I didn't take a course to learn how to talk to this girl or do that or whatever else. But so it's almost like who's gonna buy it? But it's really self-development information. Yeah, and it was selling like, and no one knew I owned it. I would do it again. I think that's my next thing. I want to start like buying up brands and just having a few things that don't have my name or association.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's no. So what about someone who might be sitting there at the present moment and they're hearing you went about and, obviously doing your, dating platform and then building obviously everything else later on, web development, app development. How do they go about the process of now building their own app? All
right. So I want to, I'll put it in a perspective that's easier to understand, right? Because app development, there's so much to it. There's a different technology. What coding language are you going to use? Is it Swift? Is it Java? Are you building for an Android phone? Are you building for Apple? All these different things to consider, which is a learning curve. Because like I said earlier on, things are always changing. So probably what I would say is take a step back and instead of focusing on the code, focus on yourself as an investor. Okay. Look at it from an investment perspective. Is this something you want to invest in? So when I'm looking at something from an investment perspective, I'm not even looking at the code. I'm looking at what will this do for me? What will it do in the future? How will it affect my future plans? Is it something that will give me dividends? Is it something that will empower me? Or is it something I'm not too sure about? Because there's going to be challenges along the way, but are you sure about it? And once you're unsure about it, then you can start making next moves. So how much will it cost and how to go about it? So yeah. So when you're talking about the code and exactly what does that mean and what's the differences in terms of like you're saying Java script and so forth? Yeah. So so Swift is a code that is primarily designed to be used for Apple products. Yeah, so all the apps you see on the App Store, Swift is like the preferred way to build. Obviously, there's like building. So let me even back up. There's two ways to build an app. Yeah, you can build it with a cross-platform code, like Flutter, which works on both Android and iOS, or you can build an app natively. When I build an app natively, I'm building one app with two separate sets of code or software. So I'll build one for Android and one for iOS. The app will work the same, but it's just I'm building something that is designed to work better for an Android phone, something that's designed to work better for an Apple phone. Yeah. Like even when I'm using Instagram on my Android phone, I know it's a little bit different. Exactly. It's a little bit different from how it does on iOS. But it's supposed to maximize the operation within whatever software structure that is basically using, whether it's Android or iOS. Yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly, cool. And what other things should they bear in mind, and or how do they go? What's the next step after that? How do you go about it? So, all right, and just from a practical standpoint of, is this idea viable? Sketch and write out. This is the most simple way to go about it. Write out your idea. Make it clear for yourself, and just take out the code. you know, this app will work, or I'm doing this app for this industry in this market. I've identified there's a need here, and this is the type of person I want to use it. So once you're clear on that, the next step after that is maybe sketch out how you want the app to work, like a storyboard it. They'll sign in here, the homepage will be here, they'll be able to take these certain actions on the app, and this is how they will benefit from it. This is how I will monetize the app as well, if you want to make any money from it. Once you've written it down and you can see how it can work, then, you know, you get to the more, I guess, kind of fun part of what colors do you want it to be, how do you want your logo to look, color scheme. Just write it down before you've gone to a developer or designer. Just write it down your own self, and don't count out your own creativity. Even if you're not someone who draws, or you're not someone who knows how to use Photoshop, you can use pen and paper. Just put ideas down on Word and just write it down. So once you've kind of got clear plans, then you can start looking for an agency like mine or another to start bringing it to life. But I would say just get clear on your idea.
And I love that in what you're saying about don't count yourself out just because obviously you're not able to design, because I've always been like that when even when I've done logos for whether it be the Simply Greg show or Simply Greg and then other ventures as well. Like when I look at the logo first when I've done it compared to what it is, it's always funny because when it starts off, I'm like I'm like drawing birds.
Yeah. It's a creative process.
It's a creative process because when people now look at the Simply Greg logo, they're like, "Raw, that's a great idea." But without sketching it out at first, you won't have. And that's what we was talking about, taking one step after the next.
Right.
As you're just sketching it out or putting things down, it leads you through a process. Now we're like, oh, if I take this off, or add that or do that, because you're now able to see it for yourself rather than it just being in the mind. And then when you see it for yourself, would that work? Would that? No, it wouldn't. Let me take this off. And in that process, you have now the blueprint of something unique rather than if it's in your head and it's just all muddled up with different thought patterns that are coming through. But when it's on paper, at least you can see it, sketch it out. And, you know, obviously, hopefully when you bring it to your app developer or whoever, they'll be able to make sense of it as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But I always laugh, man. It's like birds flying, I had skyline, just that. But then look at the logo now. It's like, yeah, you don't need to see what it was before.
Yeah.
you just need to see what happens after.
Cool. Who designed that? Did you design the whole thing?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, I designed that.
Yeah.
But then I got George
to
do the rest. Yeah.
Okay, shout outs to George. Shout outs to George. Yeah,
so yeah, I always send him something like, yeah, can you do something like this? That's it. Right, and then he'll do that, follow through with it, and then bring it out. So I always stay close to him with that as well.
Okay.
So what about the process of, so you said they put that together, have the thoughts, sketch it out, think about obviously the coding and so forth, where they want it, where the market, and also make sure that there's a demand for it as well, or how would you go about? Okay.
Yeah, so the demand for, I think the easiest way to identify a demand is, will your friend use it or whoever it's for? Sometimes maybe you're even the ideal customer. Because you can get lost, like there's this whole thing of paralysis by analysis. You can get paralyzed from doing too much research. You actually can. I know it's good to be prepared, but if sometimes you could do so much, you don't move because you're like, oh my gosh, there's all these competitors, there's so many different things to consider. There's a lot to consider with the human body. My heart's beating right now. Blood is flowing through my body. There's cells that are dying right now and growing. I'm not thinking about any of it because my body's a system. I'm just here on the show. So
I love that.
If I was to consider every single movement of my body, I wouldn't get out of bed. My nails are growing right now. I can't tell. Yeah. But one day I'm going to need to cut them. I'm just going to wake up and be like, wow, these are long.
I love that.
My hair's growing right now. I'm not thinking about all this. Yeah. And obviously it's Sunday, so I can say God designed me in such a way that my body works in a systematic fashion.
Yeah.
So when I'm building new products, if I take my body as an example, I have to build it in systems and stages so I don't get overwhelmed. So with your own idea, once you've written out the idea and concept, you don't have to know everything right away. Build it in steps, phases, and systemize it. Put it in a system the same way you have your to-do list. You just, I'm gonna do this, and this. You know, people say like if you don't plan your day, someone else will do it for you. The thing is, the objectives that person has are different from your own. So the same way someone's planned your timetable when you're in school. Someone's planned your schedule when you're at work. Plan your life. Plan your business activities. It doesn't have to be so detailed, but you can just have some basic steps as to what you want it to do and how you want it to be laid out. And when you're ticking those things off, they don't have to be overly complicated. It can just be the simple, from a layman's perspective, layout of how you want this app to work, and you can build from there.
And what's some of the best ways to kind of promote or just bring this to market then, would you say?
Yeah, so with advertising, that's like a really big thing. I mean, there's like so many platforms. There's the top tier ones we all know about, like Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat advertising. I would dare to say, do it yourself if you have the time, because you can hire an agency to do it. And I even have a department in my company that I'm building right now where we're going to be doing marketing for. I mean, there's some products we're already doing marketing for, but we're going to start advertising it. But how I learned how to do it is, I hired my marketing team and I just sat and I watched what they were doing and I looked at it. And then my own advertising for the agency, I run it myself now. You know? So don't be, and I would have done that from the beginning, but I was just scared. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing it the wrong way?
Which is funny because when you're closer to the market than you actually know, yet you think that someone else in, somewhere in an office knows better than you do. When you are closer to the market, you instinctively knows what is obviously best. Yeah,
so let me just even give some tips, because there's some things that the person in the office will know that you just won't know. Yeah? So let's say, I'll take Facebook as an example. So when I'm advertising on Instagram, I prefer to do the management of my ads through Facebook's business manager. Yeah. So if you have a business, you can open a Facebook business account at business.facebook.com for free. Take the steps to link that account to your Instagram account so you can manage both from the same platform. Any YouTube video will show you how to do that. Once I've done that, the reason I prefer to advertise on Instagram instead of Facebook alone is because Facebook's business manager just gives me more flexibility. Like, I can say I want this ad to show on the Instagram Explore page and the newsfeed, or the newsfeed and not the Explore page. I can say I want this to show in stories as well for the first 15 seconds. I can say show this ad on the Facebook feed and Instagram feed at the same time, so I can see which one performs better, and it doesn't cost me any more money to do that. Right, it's just me clicking buttons and knowing where to go. So once I've done that, then I'll do my demographic targeting. Yeah, with demographic targeting, say if I'm trying to sell a camera, I can target people that like Canon, Samsung, or Fuji films. That's one way to go about it. But another set of interests I can target is, again, me taking a step back and considering what type of person is going to use this.
That's it.
And the reason I do that is because it's easier to do that than it is to just target the different brand names. So I'll give you an example. Say, like, right now for my app development company, it doesn't always happen, but I go after people that are into self-development or like read certain books. The reason I do that is because it's easier to find them. They might have an app idea. So I'll give you an example. Like, Law of Attraction is a big one. A self-development 101 who is popular in that industry. I just go on Google, and I go on Amazon. I look at like the bestsellers. I see things like Rich Dad Poor Dad, a book by Wayne Dyer. It's easy. I go on Amazon. It tells me what's selling. All of these people are brand names. I take those names and I put them into my demographic targeting on Facebook. So I'm targeting all the biggest names. Facebook will tell me, if you target London and you target Anthony Robbins and all these different guys, your audience is going to be 550,000 people. In London alone. Out of those people, based on these sets, you might get X amount of leads a day. So I think, okay, I like positive things I see on Instagram sometimes. If I saw an ad for this clothing item or this product and I was interested in it, I might click on it. My friends are into investments, but we all look at different business moguls that are doing things. So why don't I, if I'm selling a training program on stocks and trading, let me target them business moguls, because I know people like myself would be watching it. So it's an easier way, because that's the kind of coffee table conversations I'm having with my friends, so I know there's a market for it. So I again, easy. I go on YouTube, I go on Amazon, I look at the bestsellers in that industry, and I'll go after all the guys that are on Shark Tank or The Apprentice, or and I'll just target them. I'll put that in my demographic targeting on Facebook. Those are the people I'm going to hit on Instagram. it takes me like 15, 20, 30 minutes, to make that list, because I just call my friend, like, yo, what was that guy you was talking about yesterday? You know what I mean? There's a more practical way to go, and it works. So the funny thing is, because of the way I plan it, I'm not advertising to every single person, but some of the parties and dances I'll go to sometimes, I've actually been stopped. Someone's like, you're the app development guy. And the person saying that to me is a person I was thinking about when I made the ads.
Oh, wow. I love that. The full circle.
Yeah.
You've actually gone to meet the people that you was profiling when you're...
Yeah. You know, England lost the other week. When I was in that venue, they hadn't lost yet. So like we were midway through the game, and someone, you know, that I know was like, yo, like, I've seen what you're doing online. I didn't know you seen what I'm doing online, because I'm just targeting people that have certain interests. But that's an easier way to go. So I do my demographic targeting that way, and I'll decide what, you know, whether I want to hit someone on their phone or on their desktop. Obviously everyone's on their phone. Then I go to the next phase and I decide whether I'm going to use a video or image ad to hit people. So obviously I record videos. Other products I have, they're mostly videos. I've done images, they work as well. You just test it.
Videos have a better conversion rate.
My videos, it's just because, I don't know, I just know, it's just my preference. It's just been my preference. But some of the image ads I've had have performed well. But I'll put them out there, and once Facebook approves it, if I'm following their rules, I'll let it run. So that's like an easier way for me to go. Budget wise, what would I spend? It really depends. Maybe I start trialing something out on like £10 a day, and I'll let that run for like 10 days, what's that, £100, and I'll see if I get any engagement. It depends on the campaign. Obviously, for apps, maybe I'm spending a bit more because I've seen it work, so I'm reinvesting. But you start with like £10-15 a day. You don't have to run it forever. You know?
And that's one of the things I like about how you run your campaigns, because we've had conversations behind the scenes, and you love testing your campaigns as well, because you'll have two ads going side by side and see what performs better. If this one performs better, okay, let's go closer, amp up on that and take that one off. And it's usually the thing that is leading you towards getting closer to your market that you're looking for, especially when you make adjustments to your business, which I've seen.
So I do test, and that's like, what I just shared there was like what I paid someone to tell me, because I was so nervous about how to go about doing it the right way. And so I hope it helps someone. Once you get a hang of that, then you can go crazy with your testing.
And in terms of developing apps, what is the current prices roughly that it basically ranges from? Because I know it varies depending on obviously how intricate the what's it called is.
It varies. Like, you can, if it's a basic app, I don't know, it depends on your budget, but so, you know, £10,000 is a safe base to start from for a custom built product. But then if you're being savvy and smart about it, I mean, your app, there's some apps that there's just no cheap way to go about it.
Because of all the stuff that you've got in it.
Because of how you want it to work. So what I would say is, from a business perspective, if you're putting your own money up, number one, you either have to be prepared to invest or be prepared to talk to a lot of people to get what you want, and you might have to do both. Because you be prepared to invest, but you need a good deal. So you know, be patient. Don't be stupid with your money. And what I mean by that, just because you don't understand code doesn't mean you don't understand money. So you may not be able to understand every little thing about the code, but you should understand the real world application of your app and how you want it to work. And then, you know, try and make sensible investments just off the basis of, this is how I want it to work and this is my budget. But the kind of standard going rate for this is something you do need to invest in. Even if it's like 5,000 is still money, 2,000 is still money, 10,000 is more of an investment. You just want to make sure wherever you're placing your pounds, you're getting what you want out of it. So, you know, just have a conversation with your developer, and I'm not saying haggle, but just understand the cost of what it is you're getting into, so you can make well-informed decisions about what you're going to do next.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Gyles, for obviously giving us all those insights. I hope it has been helpful to someone, to give them a better sight of the market and how to go about the process for themselves.
Yeah.
And whether it's going through an app developer or whether it's even building one themselves and being more intricate and going into the technical side of things, because that's a lot in itself, understanding coding, understanding how to, what platforms to kind of go on and so forth. Otherwise, for those who have, they're like, I love what he's saying, I want to connect with him. What's coming up next from Gyles at the moment, and how can they connect with you, and what projects you got coming up?
Yeah, so now I'm kind of in the space and we're disrupting the industry. I want to see how big we can get. Like, I want to be like the biggest app development agency in London. I don't even know who the biggest app development agency in London is, because everyone's so like, no one talks about how much they're making and whatnot. I don't even know if there's any rewards for being the biggest. So I'll probably say,
I just want to be big. There's no awards. I just want to be the biggest.
Yeah, there's no awards for it. So,
you don't shout me up. I don't know. I just still want to be the biggest.
So I want to see how far we can go with it. So I'm making my own like kind of landmarks, things to hit. So a year from now, I want to see like practically how many lives we can impact in a positive way. I'm trying to build the infrastructure to do that right now, and I want to venture into like more media and music and film, but we'll start off just building the basis, because this is like our this is like the cash cow right now. Or like if it was a business, the business lingo for those that studied business in school, everyone knows what a cash cow is. This is the one thing that's that pays for all the other businesses that are in that app space that we're doing right now. So just to focus on helping people, the better I can get. Do you know what? I can't lose. I cannot lose, because my main interest is in app development. My main interest is helping people, and I'm using app development as a vehicle to do it.
I love that.
So as much as people have something to say about me online, which a lot of it's good, but anyone's got challenges around how is he able to do apps for this price or that price. I am trying to help people. People want to be helped by someone that knows how to help them. And I'll always find a way to do that. So right now, whether that's YouTube or podcasts or like videos here and there or like private consultations, I'm going to find a way. And I know right now people need help with their apps. So.
And obviously you're also doing free consultations for those who come through the Simply Greg show, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Of course.
So free consultation there. So if you want to obviously go further in understanding what you can build, how you can build it or go about that, or just understand the industry a bit more, or your idea, if you can kind of scale that idea as well, feel free to obviously connect with us and whatnot, and also connect with Gyles as well. How can people connect with you online? Where can they find you?
All right, and so on Instagram, my personal Instagram is the Paragon Don _ at the end, and then business wise, which is more importantly business wise, just Google Brussels Lake Paragon. Our website, our socials, all of our information comes up. You can just follow online, because I'm trying to make it a lot more interactive with our Instagram. And we'll be putting out some good tips.
Amazing. That's it there. So we've had Gyles speak to us, obviously, on his journey as an entrepreneur and how he's had to diversify himself and pivot during the COVID period as an entrepreneur, but then also app development, how you can go about the process of building your own app, what you need to consider, and the adjustments that you need to make mentally first when approaching it, and also the practical steps of what to do when you want to kind of like structure and build out your idea in order to be something that is sustainable within your market as well. So once again, thank you for everyone who has been connected with us today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As you already know, you can always connect with us on 4 different platforms. Like I say, you can always connect with us on Facebook, which is @SimplyGregShow, on Twitter, which is @SimplyGregShow, and on Instagram, it's @SimplyGregShow, and YouTube, once again, @SimplyGregShow. So life is complicated enough. I always say, why make it anymore? Until then, catch you next week. See you soon.